Last we left off, you continued your trek through the Stormhorn Mountains. As you came across a natural bridge that crossed the raging Starwater River, it was noted that the bridge was in very decayed state. After Arv and Sammy made it across, the first solo host, the horse, caused the bridge to collapse, but Riker used Vortex Warp to save him. Before everyone was able to make it across, however, a blue dragon came down from the skies, grabbing the horse that Sammy had sent rushing forward, and perched atop the very rock very close by to eat its prey. The group tried to reason with it, but it was too proud, and combat was initiated. Shortly into combat, however, Rin made a suggestion for the dragon to flee after it seen the strength of your group. Never speak of what happened here. To which it failed its save and told you all before it left that it would never forget this. You all eventually made your way across the river deeper into the mountains in search for a resting place. You found a stone giant who had trapped the area, and the allure of magic was too great for Sammy to resist. However, in attempting to steal the ring, you made a new friend, and also made a real trade for the ring of spell storing. You sat down around the campfire as stone soup was being made, and had a conversation with Arv about the recent turn of events. We resume after a very tense conversation where it was unfortunate that we were to agree to disagree. But the remainder of the night is yours. It is calm. The rushing sound of the water below gives a nice backdrop, potentially drowning out any snoring noises that you might hear throughout the night. Stone soup is being finished. There are no bowls to pass around, but there is a ladle. The stone giant scoops in and tastes. Seasoned just the way I like it. And reaches over and passes the ladle to Herc.
I take a drink.
It tastes like salty water. Like there's some earthy notes to it. Like you could even like some plant roots maybe from the riverbed had been like mixed in there, and you find yourself it's soft and tender enough, but boy is it chewy, like really stringy meat.
Yeah. Who's next to me? It's like the peace pipe.
Yeah, that's essentially what it is. There's only one spoon, and he is passing around this large metal spoon to everyone in order to, I'm sorry, not metal, wooden spoon around to everyone to, more like a ladle, but still. But that's the only way to eat, unless you produce your own silverware. While we're going around and eating, if you do choose to eat, is there anything anybody else would like to do? No?
Sammy's probably fidgeting around with the ring at this point that he received from the giant, and just kind of like, maybe not obsessing over it, but definitely inspecting it and just kind of playing around with it as he puts it on his finger, takes it off, looks at it again, puts it back on.
Okay. I believe after you attune to it, you know the spells that are stored within it. And I would say after about an hour, you know what I messaged you earlier.
Sure.
Ooh.
Rin, you were going to say?
Oh yeah, Rin would probably offer for anyone that took damage if they wanted their clothes mended at all, and she could cast a little mending on it.
Arv.
Oh.
ahead.
I didn't take any damage, so
Yeah, everyone kind of got a little lucky with that. That dragon didn't even get the
Yeah,
opportunity to attack.
Quite earlier in the day.
That's true. It's true. Where I think, who did anybody get really low on that one? On the
I
fight
think
with
they
Sammy's
did,
dead?
but it took a short rest and people used hit dice and stuff, so
That's
I think
true.
we're okay.
I mean, the mending doesn't heal you; it would just.
No,
make your
yeah, I
clothes
was just
less
trying to think of
torn
like
up.
who got hit.
I'll take a clothing up.
Yeah, her
Maintenance.
cream, definitely.
Yeah.
He'll kind of like
Get it green.
touch his shirt.
I think
Clean
ours
up a
is
little.
probably sitting away from the group.
Here.
More than interacting with anybody. Her rock,
Here.
like her back's against the rock, and she's just kind of isolating
Yeah.
herself with Ardu, more than anything. So
There, and there, and there, and there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Arv eventually speaks up. Well, even though we have the stone giant here, we should probably... I'm sorry, Brontis. I should have said Brontis. Even though we have Brontis here.
He is a stone giant.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say, even though we have the half-orc here, I would say even though we have Herc here.
Everybody would know who you're talking about.
That is true. We should still set up a watch for the night. I'll take first watch. I've got some looking over of some things. I've got to figure out where we're going to stay once we get outside of here. We can't make it all the way to Gwarch. I think there's a little trading outpost, and I have to double check to make sure that we can stop there halfway between here and Gwarch in the morning.
What a ridiculous name. Gwarch. Gwarch.
Well, it's made by goblins over top of some ancient ruins. They kind of commandeered the place.
Do you think it means anything? Do you speak goblin, wizard?
It's a weird language. I don't personally speak goblin. I know some words. I know if you ever hear them starting to chant booyog, 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 means magic or magic wielder. Typically they're bringing out one of their casters.
Like you, a rival.
Potentially.
Do you feel ready, wizard? Sorry, Arv.
For what?
We go there. Might run into one of them. Might be a contest of wizardry. Do you think you could best the goblin wizard?
I don't think it's like that. Their magic wielders aren't the intelligent kind. They didn't study. They oftentimes lucked into it or it's bestowed to them by their gods. It's not a matter of study and practice. It's sometimes even innate abilities just lucked into their bloodline via sorcery.
So you're scared.
I don't think that I'll be
You had
challenged.
to work so hard for what you have, although you kind of lucked into it too, since you're the son of another wizard, right? These goblins out here, they had no books, no college. It's kind of exciting, right? To see what they know. Maybe they know something you don't. Wouldn't dismiss them out of hand.
And not every goblin tribe has a booyog. I don't know whether or not there's going to be one there.
I bet Gwarch has
But-
one.
Yeah, this is the sort of hub between human settlements and all the outsiders. I think that they would have something here, in this town at least, to protect from any sort of other incursion from zealous individuals.
Say, that's right. Wasn't somebody saying that there's some super important stuff in the bowels of Gwarch? Something that could be helpful.
That's true.
It was you, wasn't it, Arv?
Yeah, that's the reason that I want to go. I didn't really tell you the full importance of it.
I think Sammy would try to implore a little bit more about the importance of than why we're stopping it over here. Because Herc brought it up, of course. Because I myself don't remember that. So.
I try not to get in the weeds with you guys. I've studied a lot about ancient history, and I don't want to bore you. You guys remember Karsus's Folly? When the floating cities of Netheril fell from the sky? It's the
I
only
remember that.
Well, my time.
The
you can
characters have talked about it before, though. It's sounding familiar.
It's the only, gosh, I think it's the only 12th level spell ever cast. Karsus, he was the greatest wizard of the Netheril Empire. Grew in ranks so fast. He tried to become a god. He wanted to take over the power of Mistra. And when she felt his presence as he was trying to take over the weave, she killed herself to sever the power. And during that momentary lapse before she was reborn, all floating cities fell to the ground. There were very few that survived, and it was because 3 of them were up so high, and the 4th, which would later be known as the City of Shade, warped into Shadowfell. But this place that we're going to, Gwarch, was a nethery city of Synod. Long since deteriorated, thousands of years buried beneath the ground. But there's a crypt down there. And there was an old seer that had a lot of prophesizing.
When he says crypt, I either elbow or shake the knee of Riker.
Riker, this entire time he's just working on his cannon. He's like, "What? Did you need me?"
Crypt, he says. You
Crypt?
know about that.
Yeah, he leans over to Ren. I don't get it.
You don't need to.
Okay.
Go back to your work. You're fine.
Anyways, I think what I'm looking for here in this crypt is potentially remnants of the old seer. She wrote the chronology, a lot of it before it even happened, of the roll of years, and then also an alternative timeline that was corrupted by Shar called the Black Chronology. But I'm looking to see if there's any scrolls or any remnants of her work that potentially talked about things that would have happened now. Remember that prophecy about darkness coming back that you read earlier? That was one of her prophecies. So I want to see if there's anything left. She's no longer left. But this would be her crypt.
The crypt of the person who gave the prophecy?
Yes, her name is Agathra. Later to be known as Agathra the Mad.
Why?
Mad after she gave of the prophecy that we have, right?
No.
Oh.
She was corrupted by Shar. During the day, she had prophecies of a normal timeline, and while she slept, she had nightmares and prophecies of the dark timeline, when Shar won.
And ours is
The normal timeline.
the normal timeline. That's right.
So it could be dangerous, it could be nothing. It's been abandoned for well over 1,000 years.
Why isn't anyone else gone to poke about?
Possible they have. It's deep. It'll be 200 feet down climbing from the entrance. I don't even know what it looks like. I've never been here. There's no... From tales, things that I've read from the past. Adventurers did go down there well over 1,000 years before. That's how we got the information that we did about what happened to Agathra. She was trying something with a broken mythalar that was trying to be corrupted by the weave, by the shadow weave.
Trying something with a broken. Who's a what?
This is why I don't go into all these details. It's so boring.
You're not a good teacher. I get it. It's tough. No.
A mythalar is a giant orb contained with power directly from the weave. And it was what allowed them, the ancient Netherese and also the Elven people, to create their floating cities. It had all sorts of other magical properties as well, but it was basically
Hey,
an
see.
engine.
That's very exciting. Riker, what do you think of that? Imagine what your little turret could do if you got.
my name.
Imagine what your little turret could do if you got one of those mythalars.
So the presumption then is that there's potential that this mythalar is in the crypt.
I mean, I know the mythalar. The crypt was built inside of the city after Agathra died. But the Mythalar is within the city. The only way you can move it would be to destroy it. Like you can't move it once it's been created and placed. But the Mythalar is secondary in nature for the reason that we're going down into the city of, or the ruins of Synod. But Gwarch was built on top of it.
So you're looking to find out if this Mythalar exists?
I'm just going down to take a peek. Who knows what could be there, Sammy? That's the whole point. It could be good, could be bad. But aren't
Could be
you
nothing.
curious now that you've heard the story?
The prophet that created the prophecy that you read is Agathra. I'm trying to see if there's any additional prophecies that would tell us how to thwart this evil, or where this echo of Netheril is. That is all I'm going down there for. Anything that we find extra while that we're there is just for the sake of adventure.
Do I trust the sincerity in his voice that this is not just some and scheme to very adamant about we need to get to this desert, we need to get to this point to continue our thing. But this sounds like that crypt of a fall, or a crypt within a fallen city. This sounds like this can take days, if not longer, to look for anything. Like, this just seems like a serious distraction to what he's been yelling at us to do the entire time.
I mean, you're welcome to press him on that, or you're welcome to attempt to roll an insight to see his level of conviction for why he wants to go here.
I'm going to go with the insight right now.
Okay.
Rip.
I mean, his mood as a whole has been kind of down since you've sat. This entire conversation almost feels bothersome to him. You can see that. Like, even while he's explaining, he's not explaining with passion. He's explaining out of necessity because people are asking him. No!
He got so bored he just left
Oh
off.
my god.
I mean,
He just died.
I don't blame
I
him.
feel like hearing that.
I don't blame him. Well, we'll flavor this as Sammy is
Falling asleep.
staring at Arv, like trying to get a bead on his thoughts, and Arv talks about taking first watch.
Oh, that's right.
Sammy's back.
Yeah, he is.
Persis is listening to all of this, but she's not saying
Engaging.
anything. Yep.
Okay. The stone giant eventually speaks up as Arv is trying to talk about watches. I will take last watch. I tend to wake up early anyways. If you don't mind, I will be retiring. Make sure to mind the coals, would you please? It tends to get chilly here at night.
Yeah, that works.
Good night, Brontus. Thanks for the soup.
Since he's back to being a Is he back to being a fire dragon? Did they make him something else?
I don't know if it was fire. I think it was. I know for sure
Yeah.
that you changed him from lightning.
Yeah,
I think
it
he
was
went with
fire.
fire.
Yeah, so a little like thing of fire comes out of his nose.
Nice.
I can take second watch. That's fine.
Okay, that would be preferable. All right, just I don't think anything's going to be following us up. I'd probably keep an eye on what could be coming from the north. You know, I doubt anybody's going to be following us from the collapsed bridge. You know, that took some ingenuity to get across either way, but that's enough to deter pretty much everyone, most people at least. By
I'm
this
happy to
time,
take
Arsis, your pass without a trace probably would have fallen off.
I know, I was trying to remove it.
No, you're fine. It just reminded me once I saw the big green blob scooting across the screen. What'd you say, Rin?
I'm happy to take third watch.
Okay, it sounds like we have everything. You guys should get some rest. We have long travels. It's going to be a lot of walking for, as far as I can tell, for a long time. If not to Gwarch, then to deeper in the desert. Just take a look at the
One day
beautiful...
at a time. One day at a time.
Take a look at the mountains and the greenery around you. Probably going to be one of the last few days that you get to see it. Be nothing but...
All right. You're making it sound like such a bummer. It'll be fun. Think of all the things we have yet to see, and have already seen, and have lived to tell the tale. Making my feet ache just talking about the miles and miles. Oh, I'm doing it to myself. Good night, Ov. Thanks for the history lesson.
Good night, Herc. And he sets about taking first watch. Let me roll. Alrighty. Arv sits on the edge for those of you that haven't fallen asleep yet. Feet dangling over into the river below. Not actually into the river, but over the ledge towards it at least. Book out, scrawling, and every now and then you see him tilt his head back, looking up at the stars, looking around, then back to his book. And eventually he comes over after 2 hours and nothing of great event or import has happened, and stirs Riker awake.
All right. Riker will get up. He'll go to kind of like a more like secluded place. Reason being is he's gonna cast the light cantrip while he's like doing maintenance on his gun.
Okay. Alrighty.
But do you want a perception check then?
Yes, please.
All right. That's pretty good.
Yeah, sure is. As you're sitting there, casting light, working on your gun, you see a shadow overhead kind of block out the moonlight just in a certain spot, kind of waving above you. You see, as you're tinkering, working in front of you, shadow dart across, and you immediately look up. It's just a bird. A large bird.
Just I imagine he's like working. He sees the shadow. He immediately like points the gun up, and sees just a bird. Oh, it's been stressful. Like slowly lowers it, goes back to like oiling it, maintaining it, and all that. But every now and again, he'll kind of like just look behind him.
Okay. The rest of your watch goes by without issues.
All right. Riker will get up and go wake up Bryn. And as he does, he says, "Oh, Miss Bryn, if you see a shadow, it's probably just a bird."
Thanks, Riker.
Yeah, and just if you do see a bird, don't engage.
Okay.
I almost made that mistake.
Time
Okay.
for you to get some rest.
Just falls over and it's knocked out.
Okay. Rin, do you do anything?
Rin, she's probably just gonna kind of pace back and forth around the little trail. Maybe looking down at the river, humming to herself, thinking of ways that she could re-perfect the fungus song.
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
I'll take that dirty 20.
Nice. Did somebody start an activity?
Yeah, Sarah did.
Oh, what's
Did it fuck
going
up
on?
everything?
Yes and no.
How did you
Oh,
do
roll
that?
20 in Discord.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, at the moment right now, it just shifted everybody around on the camera, but it was already shifted because Sammy was gone. Yeah, we'll have to... I don't know what we'll do going forward with that. I'll have to just move everybody's cameras around if you wanted to maintain that.
Just checking it out.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. But I think it's like one person at a time. I don't know.
I think everybody
Is
can join the
Detention for
activity.
Sarah, or is it a good thing?
Is it detention for Sarah?
Yeah.
No, it's just
Is this-
another way to
that's
play
good.
Roll20.
Yeah, you can play Roll20 through Discord, like as a whole. Like it'll alter your
So
UI
everything's
to
on
where...
one screen instead of having like to flip back and forth between Discord and Roll20. Basically, Roll20's in your Discord, and if you have only one monitor, it's a really good way to.
Yeah,
I only have one monitor.
yeah.
So all you have to do is you just have to hit the activity button on Discord, and then open up and log into your Roll20.
Okay. Will not buy me a seafood dinner though.
Alrighty. Rin,
Yes.
kind of pacing back and forth, humming to yourself, looking about. It's not an eventful night. You get some time in your own head, and it's been a busy day. Multiple encounters, some of them more stressful than others. But it is the end of your watch. It is time to
Let's get Brontus up.
wake Brontus.
Rin starts by like gently like touching him, and then if that doesn't work, she's gonna give him a nice shove.
Yeah, you laying your hands on his body, you feel that he is incredibly solid. He is not made from stone, but his muscles might as well feel like it.
Oh, Papa.
Yeah, okay. But he eventually rouses from slumber. Thank you. You have
Thank you.
nothing to worry about. I will keep safe watch.
I trust you. Thank you for offering to help.
No problem.
She's gonna curl herself back up and go back to sleep.
and you all gain the benefits of a long rest.
I think Arsis will be up kind of early. He'll get her
Okay.
6 hours and then spend the last 2 hours kind of up early.
Don't you
She'll
only
go
need
sit with-
4?
No, I'm half elf.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Still need my
Okay.
standard long rest.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will go sit with Brontis, and I'll just sit next to him in like companion silence, you know, unless he speaks to me.
Yeah, he's leaning with his back up against the lower wall. In his torso still a good 6 or so feet above that, and he's just peering, looking northward into the path that you will eventually take in the morning, keeping an eye out. If he sees you up and stirring about, he would probably engage. Couldn't sleep?
Oh, I'm good. I got plenty of sleep, thank you.
I slept pretty well myself.
Are you all alone out here?
My tribe is deeper into the mountains. I was just wandering around on my way back from Gwarch. Wasn't
Any
quite ready to
insight?
go home. What do you want to know?
Bhopal, what we can get ourselves into trouble in an unknown city. Anything we should know about who to avoid, things not to say. Never been to this Gwarch place.
It is a boisterous, very rambunctious crowd. A little too fast-moving for Brontes. The arena is entertaining to watch.
Arena?
There's no hostility that can happen inside of Gwarch or the surrounding area outside of the arena. There is a fat goblin king that calls himself king. He spends most of his time watching the fights in the arena. Mostly just bugbears against beasts of the desert or whatever they've captured in the wilds. Pretty entertaining.
Sounds like something Herc would be into.
Outside of that, it is nothing more than a place for me to conduct trade. The lake that it is built upon has a bunch of barges out in the water, connected by wood bridges. I can't stand on them, I'm too heavy, so I have to wade through the water to the main port. You should be fine.
I do know how to swim, but
You should be able to use the wooden bridges. I would say if you can check out the shops out there. People seem to be impressed, and I myself have gotten skins from there for trade.
I mean, I'm not much. I don't have a lot of coin. Not much for trade. But I mean, hopefully we can get what we need to survive in the desert. Arv made it sound so grim.
The desert is not to be taken lightly. Run out of water and it doesn't know It doesn't matter how much magic you have. You will die. A slow, painful death.
Well, aren't you just a ray of sunshine?
I suppose, speaking of, and he turns as the first ray of sun cascades over the mountain, causing the rest of you to stir as it is almost piercing your eyelids. Well, my obligation is fulfilled. You all be safe. Take care of... And he, I wish I could talk to Sammy. Motions over
Never
to Sammy, seeing that the ring is still on is now on his finger. If that dragon comes by again, make sure you use that. And he points at the ring, and then begins to climb the mountain. But it is now
Safe
morning.
journeys.
And you are all well rested. Arv. You guys still have horses, right? Yes.
Like 2 or 3 of them?
No, we
Oh my
have a
God.
full.
Yeah, you have all
we
but
only
one.
lost one horse. Yeah.
So everyone still
we had
has
an
a horse.
extra horse.
But Dawnstar
yeah.
would have to be resummoned, right?
No,
He's forever?
he's on stars.
In our hearts, he's forever.
Okay.
That's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just you can't have more than one steed bonded by the spell, but that's it.
Okay. Alrighty. Arv packs up, mounts up. I'll be up at the exit to the north. We should be almost through the Stormhorns, probably only maybe an hour or two. I didn't want to stay in the swamp. It's less habitable than this, or at least less favorable. But it should be about another day's trek to our next stop, and then probably only a half a day's travel from there to Gwarch in the morning. Follow when you're ready. Be up here. With Arv outside of earshot, do any of you have any sort of conversations or anything? Or do you gather your things and mount up to follow?
I mean, I think I'll just mount up and follow, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah, Arsis is not going to be much for competition this morning, so she's just going to put her stuff on the horse and follow Riker.
Okie dokie. Since Arv is leading the way, I'm gonna make a survival check.
Immediately gets caught in a trap.
He does okay.
Not yet.
The horse is doing most of the leading.
I mean, he has a map. He knows roughly where he's going.
Sammy does not, though.
A little over a couple hours, you make it outside of the Stormhorn Mountains. Start to descend again, and you can start to see that the soil around you is now becoming more loose, less rocks in your terrain. And eventually you can see small pools of water standing in the grassy marshland. Other than that, stay relatively on the beaten path. Packed down. You can see that it's relatively well traveled.
I know.
You make relatively good time. The wind kind of rolling through your hair as you can see out into the distance the swampland turning into more greenery. And further yet in the distance you can see the orange, yellowish hue of the desert, several miles out to the north. As the sun starts to come down, you see a group of people in the distance. There's a shack, kind of a makeshift fence post, and you can hear some laughter even, as it appears that these humanoid figures are throwing axes or knives out at these glass bottles that are on top of barrels. And as you get a little bit closer, Arv says, well, this is supposed to be our stopping point. Looks like this way stop is taken. You can see that the figures still to the north haven't quite seen you yet. Or even if they have, they haven't really made an attempt to say anything. Kind of looks back at you. They don't seem threatening.
I don't know. Maybe we give them a wide berth and just continue on. I don't like the way that they're just throwing the knives haphazardly or whatever they're throwing.
That just kind of looked like a friendly competition to me that I can see. It looks like they're just throwing it at glass bottles. But I can understand your hesitation. I don't know if we're gonna find a good dry spot. This was kind of a safe haven for caravans coming from east to west or even north to south to stop over. And he points over to the building to the left-hand side of the road in the distance. That's normally where you could get some rest. But I guess if you guys aren't opposed to potentially sleeping in some damp grass area, and as you look around, it is still relatively swampy here. You can see multiple small pools. As the darkness kind of starts to creep in, you can see fireflies dancing over top of the waters.
Well, I mean, maybe we could get a little closer, just get a better idea of maybe what they're doing or who they are. That couldn't hurt.
Arv turns back to the rest of you. Input from you all before we get any closer?
I'm okay with the plan to get a little closer.
Amazing how much you two can hem and haw. And hem and haw. Sounds like they're having a great time. Let's go say hi. They probably coming our way. We can learn about what's ahead. You know, it's not all dragons and...
Ark, Bronta's kind of explained to me a little bit about how the city works here. They have an arena. I figured you'd be super excited to check that out. So I feel like the faster we get to the city, the better off we'll be.
Wow. It just keeps getting better and better.
Yeah, I wonder if they know your name around these parts, Herc. I mean, you are pretty famous.
Not outside Suzail. Don't.
I wouldn't be so sure. Word can travel quickly sometimes.
I mean, they seem to be a culture of arena fighting pits and general mayhem, so they might have heard of you.
Right. Yeah, totally. Well, you've all got an in right here in her court song. Let me handle this. Let me handle these knife-throwing hooligans.
I mean, we
Riker?
just gotta get past them, right? They're just in our way.
They're not even in your way, like, at least at this moment.
I think it's like this is like a potential rest point because
Yeah.
past here is just all
Let
mud
me
and marshland.
Yeah.
let me show you what you see.
Okay.
Ooh.
And is it dark like it is on the map? Getting
Yeah,
dark?
it is
Okay.
getting
Oh, it is.
dark.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Um,
maybe they'll be kind enough to let us share in the shelter. If we ask nicely. Yeah, Herc, you asked very nicely, I'm sure.
alrighty. Herc, you don't necessarily have to move your token quite just yet. You're more than welcome to if you want to explore, given the darkness.
Yeah, him and I can see.
Yeah, only for 60 feet. I mean, I guess a little bit. I didn't make it completely black out, I don't think. Let me control
Yeah,
No,
I
L.
can.
Yeah, no, I can kind of see what's there. Yeah.
Alrighty.
It's a dragon behind that rock over there.
Right, hiding. As you get a little bit closer, you can see a fire lit inside the shelter on the left-hand side, and a few orcish figures inside, laughing and clinking mugs together. And two of them outside, again, throwing axes or knives at the bottles on the far end of the little corral that seems like it's been broken in places, missing entire wooden sections. But overall, they don't seem to be hostile. And even at a certain point, one of them catches, or at least looks over in your general direction. What's DTLS issue? I don't know what DTLS is.
Jesus.
Huh. Anyways, Herc, how do you approach?
Look back to everyone. All right, everybody, be cool.
I can only promise to try.
At that the same moment, Sammy just disconnected. Like,
Put your
turn it
mask
off.
on. Put your mask on, maybe, Riker.
Oh, yeah. Stuffy out here anyway.
Do you want us all to come, or you want to talk to him by yourself?
Just, you gotta seem like you belong, right? Just be cool, all right? Don't look confused. You understand what's going on.
We're here to
I
stay the night.
understand it's a rest spot, and some people are here, and we need to maybe rest.
Those
as well.
eyebrows creased. No smiling. Till
smiling?
we get somewhere, with them. Till we know that they're cool, okay?
Riker taking notes on all this.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what you're saying. Is this a code word?
I'm being very cool, Arsis.
Do you need a
Arv says,
jacket?
Arv says, it's getting late, guys. The longer we stand here, the harder it's going to be to find a spot if we decide to move on.
Yeah, yeah. Let's no more hesitating. Let's go. Let's go.
As you get a little bit closer, are you approaching the shelter first, or are you approaching the two orcish figures that are throwing axes and knives over at the glass bottles outside?
Glass bottles.
Alrighty. As you get a little bit closer, how close do you get before you speak up?
Just like maybe like right here so I can see the people still in the shelter too.
Okay. Go ahead.
Hey!
As you say, hey, it is mid-throw of one of these orcs throwing, and it just goes wide left, missing and clinging into one of the barrels, and he turns around. You startled me. You made me lose my bet. It better be good.
You're playing for sport or for money?
Both. And then the other
You
one
gotta
kind of
keep it-
walks over and pats him on the back. It seems that he's more like losing money, losing the sport. He's not actually winning.
I kind of do like a self-conscious glance back to everybody else, and then
Rin gives like a gentle little giggle.
Riker's like, oh, ha, 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 ha.
well,
Arsis has got her hand on her dagger or whatever, just kind of waiting to see how this plays out.
Like,
you-
is it just at your hip or at your
Yeah,
wherever?
just
Okay.
like just resting on it. She's not posturing in aggressive manners, but she's also not like relaxed.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was one of those things where like you had your dagger out and then it would be like an interesting interaction where they'd be like, "Oh, you want to try your hand?" type of deal. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't missing that interaction.
No.
Okay. The orc that is losing steps away. Maybe if I had another drink, it would be better. I'll be back. Don't go losing all my money without me. I want to win it back. He steps away. Did I not put them on the... Oh, I am not on the right screen. Rip. Here we go. Okay. He steps away and heads back into the rest. This one wearing some darker leathers, even kind of having a leather hood that kind of comes up and covers the side of his face, and kind of only the front is showing. Looks out at you, leaning on the fence. What brings you to these parts?
we're just passing through the Gwarch. I reckon you just came from there yourself.
We did. Pawned off some of our wares. Now we're headed back west. Sammy!
Did it work on the other Discord and is maybe just John's Discord? Maybe she should kick you and re-add you.
You can hear him?
I
I
can't.
was chatting with him. I was hoping he could hear me.
Oh. I was going to say. My friend there, he lost all of his gold on the mystery boxes, and whatever he made back, he ended up losing to me just now, so he's having a rough go of it, and he kind of tugs at his coin purse and flops it around in his hand. I'm doing all right.
Well, anything you didn't pawn off, maybe we could take a look at it. We need a place to stay. Some of the folk traveling with me don't do too well in the dark, you know.
Ah. And he kind of looks out over the rest of you. Is this all of you then?
Is everyone with us, or is it just me, Herc, and Rin?
I think everyone. I don't know what
Yeah.
Sammy would be doing, so I feel like I don't want to speak for him. Sammy's one of those creatures where I feel like any opportunity to stealth and recon, he's probably going to. So I don't know. We'll suspend like any idea of what he's doing. Pretend like he's not here until he decides to rejoin if he can.
He's lurking, whatever he's doing.
Yeah, whether he's in the shadows or what. Well,
Our friend Brontus, the stone giant, is lagging behind. This place is a bit too murky for him.
hold on a second. Take a quick one. DJ wants me to kick him in and re-invite him.
1 second then.
All right, invite people.
Technology is fun, guys. Remember that.
It's so good.
It's awesome.
What's fun?
Technology.
Oh.
Shame I already used up my my quick blast.
Nice. Yeah, we just we changed the server location from US East to US Central.
Okay.
So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, maybe it was a ping issue for you.
Maybe.
Hill.
I don't know why
issue.
it was on US East to begin with. That might have been a
Okay.
default or something, but or maybe I had it that way because when Andrew used to live in Florida and I was trying to, like, I don't know.
Help him with his ping issues.
I don't know. Who knows?
Maybe.
I don't even remember
Probably.
him having ping issues, but either way, we're all here now and that's all that matters. DJ, to give you a quick refresher.
Thank you.
Everyone's got the benefits of a long rest. Continued marching through the Stormhorns into the swampy area, which you were able to make it through with minimal issue because Arv rolled okay on a survival check. And now you are towards the edge of the swamp, and you're at the crossroads where north would send you further into the desert, and right or east would send you towards Gwarch. But this is dark, and you were at what was supposed to be your resting place for the night, but it seems to have been relatively occupied. A group of, right now at least, somewhat friendly orcs have been drinking in the building on the left and gambling in a game of throwing knives on the right, throwing their knives and axes at the bottles that are resting atop barrels. We were debating on whether or not you would have come up with the rest of the party or if you would have done some reconnaissance on your own and stayed hidden in the shadows. So I did not disclose what you had done in hopes that you were back, and you are now back. So would you have come up cool with the rest of the group and talk to currently the orc that is standing next to the fence? He's kind of resting out on it, asking you some questions about what you're doing here, whether or not you're about ready to stay. And he was just getting ready to say whether or not he had room for all of you to stay, but now I want to know what you're doing in the meantime.
What a
Jesus.
summary. What a
Yeah, holy shit.
getting dumbed down
Wow.
by words there, buddy.
On the fucking spot right there. God damn it. I probably would have, if I would have seen the fire from the orcs over there, I probably would have skirted off and just seen how friendly they are, probably looking for anything that might suggest that they are raiders of any type.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. 1, give me a stealth check, and then 2, give me a perception check.
Okay. Great stealth check. It's a terrible perception check.
Okay. Before the group really engages, there was a moment of time where Herc was giving a speech about how to be cool, how you needed to address, just be cool with these orcs. Don't smile, don't do this, do this instead. And so there was a moment of time, and I'll say that is when you kind of skirted around and you went and scoped out the orcs. Found that the two that were throwing their weapons over at the bottles were gambling, trying to see who could break the most bottles. The group inside of the building, however, there seemed to be two in rather simple garb, and one that was bigger, more muscular, and wearing more ornamental garb, clad with bones and rings and piercing, and even a sort of like leather headdress type deal. Inside, you see a bunch of broken barrels, smashed glass, rubble, decay. The building is in a relatively a sad state of disrepair. Like, it's got a wall that's kind of collapsing in on one side that you can kind of peek through. And you see a large ironclad chest can't tell if it's locked. But the group of orcs on the inside seem to be having a good time. One of them gets up and goes over to a large cask and pulls on the tap and produces an amber-colored liquid, and then sits back down. And they appear to be a little drunk, a little tipsy. So far, I would say you can't make out whether or not they're raiders. But you can at least tell or glean from the way that they're able to just deal with the mess around them that they're at minimum just kind of nomads. Like they don't care what their surroundings are.
Okay, and then upon that, all right. So are everybody else talking to this one guy on the outside?
Yeah, there were two. There were two guys, and they had explained that one was continuously winning, and you can tell that this one's even dressed a little stealthier than the other one, maybe giving you a hint of what he does. But he had just beat his friend or his companion in the throwing game, partially due to Herc coming up and greeting them in the middle of his throw, but that one went back inside the building and started to have another drink.
Okay, and then I will try to bring it back around.
Yeah, there's enough cover. There's enough like bushes and trees and fallen logs and just general flora that you would be able to make your way back undetected, especially with a 28.
Okay, perfect. And is Arsis in the back, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I think
with
so.
the current lineup?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm hesitating. I'm seeing how things play out, but yeah.
Then I would probably try to very quietly come up from behind and maybe try to whisper that the ones inside don't seem to be affiliated with anybody, at least as far as we know. So perhaps that well, whatever happens here stays here.
Who did he whisper that to?
Arsis.
You're too far back.
I'm not Sammy. What are you thinking?
Well, there's a I can't really tell if they're a raiding group or anything like that, but I don't think that anybody is going to miss them if something were to happen.
Okay, so let's just wait and see how it plays out. Nothing may happen.
That's fine, but yeah, I think that we'd be in an advantageous spot if something were to go down. And I do like a drinking motion, and then I'll join up next to her.
And as the orc is leaning across, talking to you, yeah, I think we have some space for you to rest. Maybe not within the building, but we have
Our giant friend wouldn't fit in there. He'd sooner eat the stone than sleep in it. You go ahead and take that. Got here first, after all.
I do have a tarp that I could lay out down here to where you're not directly in the mud. It could help. Let me go fetch that for you.
That would be very generous of you.
And he
Rin
goes.
kind of peeks out from behind Herc to say that.
And as he's walking around the fence and comes up relatively close to you, Herc, just kind of eyes you up and down as he's walking. Give me a perception check.
Great roll.
Herc is distracted by the muscles on this man.
Okay. It just appears as he's walking by relatively close, maybe sizing you up, but you can't quite tell. But he walks into the building, and you can hear him yell, "We've got some company. They're going to be staying in the area. Going to lend them my tarp so they don't have to sleep in the mud." You can hear a ruckus cry from inside, inside of the building. Doesn't sound like it's with disdain. More of a gleeful yell. Just something relatively unexpected, I would guess. But they come back out and they hand you this massive tarp. Place it down wherever you wish. Would you care for a drink before you go to sleep? You can share our fire. We don't have any additional food, but you're welcome to share our ale.
You've been all too kind.
Well,
Must have been a good haul you got. Added Gwarch.
you traveled since the spine of the world. Had an entire caravan full of skins and pelts, and some other things.
We almost netted ourselves a young blue dragon on the way over here. I'd be careful if I were you.
Do they have any horses or any other means of hauling
There
materials
are-
for a caravan?
No horses, no carts. The only cart you see is the broken one that seems to be littered with non-broken bottles that is over in the pen area that they were playing. But
My skin would have fetched a fortune, I bet.
indeed it would have. Indeed it would have. How did you let it get away?
Who said we let it get away?
Well, it has wings. Can you fly?
Oh, if I could. The places I would go, the things that I would see. I sure wouldn't have to use these things to make it all the way back home. And kind of slaps his massive thighs, muscular beneath like this. It's almost like a leather kilt. Well, maybe
You said
next time.
you-
Go ahead.
You said you had a caravan. You don't have horses?
Well, it's a long story. Come have a drink and we'll tell the tale.
Hear the tale.
What was that, Rin?
I'll come hear the tale if
Herc will put his hand on Rin's hand. You stayed up pretty late last night keeping watch. Why don't you get some extra rest?
Are you sure? It might be good for us to
DM.
hear
Yeah.
where they get things from.
While they're doing this, Riker will kind of fidget with the purple dragon ring, and I want to try to detect poison and disease.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah.
With Sammy, I guess Arsis wants to kind of fade back into the shadow a little farther from the group, hopefully to be less noticeable. If
Okay.
Sammy's willing to.
Oh yeah. Sammy doesn't like this at all.
Yeah,
so
go
he's
ahead.
willing to die. Back a little
After
bit.
your conversation, Arsis is inclined to believe you and feel the same.
Hold on, I'm trying to get to the swamp music, but I think because I have it on loop that it's only allowing me to.
Technology
It's great.
finds all sorts of different ways to fuck us.
What do you guys think the swamp music sounds like?
Banjo.
There's
Blop,
an
blop.
entire scene from Lord of the Rings where they were in the swamp, so I think it's that.
Ding a dang 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 dang.
Are we gonna? There we go.
I think it's more.
You got a pretty face, or you got a pretty mouth.
Ooh, Jiminy Cricket.
Now that you're clear, you're so loud.
So sorry.
Oh yeah, I realized that I had him turned up to 120%. We're gonna turn you back down to normal.
140.
40, yeah.
Jesus.
Maybe even down to
Fuck,
90.
guys. You forget how loud I am when I'm not over there in fucking Oregon. Oh shit, that was great. Thank you guys, appreciate it. I'm so glad to be a part of this today.
Okay. So as you cast Detect Poison and Disease, the only poison that you find, what's the radius on that?
30 feet.
30 feet? We'll just say you're close enough. Comes from the belt of the gentleman that you've been speaking with this entire time. Not the belt itself, but a pouch.
Oh, like
Like
might
he
be
has,
carrying,
yeah,
like,
he might be
some
carrying
kind of
poisons.
poison. Okay. Riker will just kind of silently make note of that.
Yeah, so fading off into the background.
Alrighty. Give me a stealth check, Miss Arsis. Alrighty. Yeah, you and Sammy
That's
literally
pretty good.
just slouch into the mud, just gone like little swamp people.
Little frickin' frogs.
Okay, let's yeah, nice. Nice, Ren. Okay. Ren says that she's going to accompany the
Yeah.
orc in there, or the
stopped.
rest of you?
I stop her and I say, I tell her like, oh, you need to get some rest, and I'm like, you've been generous enough. Sounds like a bit of a downer, though. Your story. Gotta keep the mind sharp for tomorrow.
Miss Ren, if you're going, I can join you.
Riker,
It couldn't hurt
we're,
to have one drink with them, right?
Riker will like push a button on his mask to message Herc. You said to be cool. I think this is what they consider cool.
And as the orc walks back by and extends an arm to the lady, hand outreached, palm up, he taps Herc on the shoulder. It's good to see that at least one of you has some stones.
Ooh.
I punch him.
Oh!
Okay. Go ahead and
Rip.
roll to
Lady.
attack.
Oh my god.
This may not be happening yet.
Why have some of the ale when we can just kill these guys and take the ale?
Yeah, just have all of it.
While he's rolling to attack, okay. What were the two of you doing as you were sneaking away?
Feeling her pulling me back a little bit and kind of like letting it happen, I look over her at her and be like, "We gonna do this?"
I'm unsure if being aggressor is the right path, but I don't trust them. I don't feel good about this either.
So, how do I feel about that other orc looking at me right now? I feel like he doesn't see me.
You guys, your stealth was so high that no shot he saw you. Like, if you
Okay.
wanted to slide away, you were close enough to a bush that, like, you would have just kind of blended in with the shadows, and in his mind, it would have just been you're standing behind somebody else and he can't see you.
At that point, I'm going to turn around. I'm going to pull out my rapier, and hearing the thwack of Urk hitting the orc, I'm going to wait to see how the orc responds.
Okay.
Right. I would like to string my bow and be prepared as well.
And if I perceive anything as being aggressive, then these are pretty rough and rowdy folks. And I can see them trading punches as a sort of
Well, it could be
hazing
cultural.
thing.
Yeah, Herc's
Yeah,
half orc.
exactly.
These are orcs. It could be a cultural exchange. We don't know.
But if I see blood being drawn, then I'm going to gauge.
Okay. I'm trying to decide. I don't have unarmed strike. Okay. All right. As he reaches out for Rin's hand and then pats you on the shoulder and says, "I'm glad at least somebody has some stones," and you punch him. An 18 does hit. So you deal 1 plus your strength modifier. How many points of damage do you deal?
7.
He's got Tavern Brawler.
Oh, Tavern Brawler, let's go.
Yep.
And then I'll use a bonus action to grapple.
Gonna give him a noogie.
Is there a save for that grapple, or is it something like if you attack with a hit, then he's grappled? Is it? Okay.
No, he's got to make a save.
Yeah, I didn't know. Some feats are like that. Alrighty. Immediately, just kind of a 1-2 punch as you hit him. Where are you hitting him? In the face? In the body?
Yeah.
In the face?
Balls.
Yeah.
All over.
Okay. As you hit him in the face, not a tusk, but a tooth, you can feel and even see it kind of glinting in the moonlight as it kind of sails past and lands on the ground, and then immediately you grapple him. What does that look like? What does the grapple portion look like? Are you bear hugging him, or are you like trying to get like an opportune like trying to do like some sort of chokehold type deal?
Yeah, I probably I imagine I punch and then maybe grab one arm and put it behind him and have a hold on him.
Okay.
So that happens, I guess, and then
Thea say anything?
Yeah.
Stay quiet.
You've just been hurricaned.
Oh shit! Here we go, guys. Here we go.
I did not say you could touch my friend.
Somebody just swooned, and it's probably that guy.
Whatever this is going to be a +3 to it. So keep that in mind. Okay. 12 doesn't, or 11 doesn't
11.
meet your AC. Okay.
What did he use to try to hit Herc?
It was an unarmed attack. Like he was actually trying to reach back and do like a sack tap.
Ooh.
But he couldn't reach because Herc had his arm behind him and he couldn't find it. So like with 0 strength, you feel the other arm kind of like try to wrestle behind and like give you a tap. And you can just hear the orc that had just been punched in the face, like guttural laughing. He's like, "Oh, I yield. Go ahead, let go. No need to get this feisty. I was just joking."
Fuck. I'm trying to think. I feel like my dad. Herc doesn't really like orcs. There's like self-hatred for what he is and like trying to not be them. But I feel like he knows about orcs from his dad.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and I just want to make sure this aligns with you, John. Like, and maybe Herc's dad is wrong, but Herc does not trust them. He thinks that they're always going to be bent towards evil.
So
and
you can go even more recent than that. Like you have your past biases that you've heard. But even if you recall, the Stone Giant had said that there's wandering bands of orcs that plunder, and that's how he got the ring. Was a group tried to ambush him and he killed them and took the ring. So like even just from like recent conversations, it's been noted that orcs north of the Stormhorn Mountains probably not the best. Just one second.
Sure.
So while John is doing that, in the middle of the long rest, I probably would have asked some people to
bump this music really loud.
enhance the spell of or the ring of spell storing. I don't know if I can retcon that any point, and I just didn't want to like take up too much time on that.
I think it already has spells in it.
Does, yes, but I have 2 levels of spells that I'd like to put in there.
Okay.
And the first one would probably have been suggestion from Rin, and the second one would have been like healing word or something from Riker.
So
I would only have cure wounds, but same thing, yeah.
Cure wounds works then.
are you saying that when did you want to do that? This morning?
Back when I actually got the ring from.
Oh, like after you attuned it before everyone went to sleep?
Yes, exactly.
Can either of you recall? Because isn't suggestion, is that a 2nd or 3rd level spell?
2nd.
Oh, I thought it was a first. Shit.
Sorry.
Suggestion would be the first one. Then, so if she had the spell slot available, then yes. If not, then she had it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I had one more 2nd level open.
Let me look at your character sheet real quick.
Well, she's taken a long rest since then, so it's
Well,
reset.
That's the issue.
Yeah, I wanna look and see what second level spells she had available to make a judgment to see if I can remember her casting
Yeah,
the
I think
spells
I'd
in the first
cast
combat.
Dissonant Whispers on what's her face, and then Suggestion on the dragon, and I think that's all of my second levels that I'd cast that day. I don't think I did an enhance ability.
Yeah,
Ooh,
I think
I might have done Shatter though. No, I did Shatter with the blob monster.
yeah, I think you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. Okay, so you can cast Suggestion into Sammy's ring if you would
Cool.
have. And so that takes up 3 of your. There were 3 levels.
All 5 if I do Suggestion.
Okay, so
She would do it.
yeah, it sounded like she
Rin's
would.
cool with that.
Alrighty.
Okay, thank you.
Did you okay, so where were we? You had just punched him and you're trying to
He tried to
decide
punch me
how
back.
you would go because he yielded
Mhm.
and just said like no need to take it personal. I'll move this character over just a little bit.
I'll punch him again. Do I have
And-
advantage because he's grappled or no?
I don't think so.
No, that's only restrained.
Okay.
If Herc's gonna go to punch him again, Rin might try to like calm him down.
Like magically, or what do you mean?
Like just like, hey, there's no reason for that. We're okay. Everything is fine.
Mr. Herc, he said he yielded. I think it's
Yield?
fine.
Unfortunately, a 13, as you go to hit again, his arm that he tried to sack tap you with comes up and kind of blocks. It's the last time I'm gonna say, enough's enough. Then I might have to get serious. There's no need for violence here, friend. It was only a joke.
Well, there better not be.
He looks over at you, Ren, and says, clearly he has both stones below and stones rattling around in his noggin, too.
I haven't let go of him yet. I hit him again. I hit him.
Oh my god!
If he's going to hit him, John, can I cast something?
What do you want to cast?
Vortex Warp on Herc.
Okay.
I don't want this to get violent.
I'm gonna say,
Roll initiative.
I need you both to roll initiative. I'm not gonna put it on an initiative tracker yet. But depending on whether or not Herc ends up going first,
Who's the bigger Dexy boy?
Riker.
Me.
Not by much.
Whoa!
Oh, okay, 21.
Oh.
There's
Good
no
roll,
way I can
great
beat
roll.
that unless I get a natural 20.
Well, you still roll it. See if you can get an actual 20.
20.
Not even a nat 20 does it.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
you have a plus
not
0
as
to your
long as I
initiative.
still-
Okay. Well, that could have been my hit that you just ruined.
I'm not letting you get a nat 20 on this dude.
As Herc pulls back to punch, Riker, you immediately see it and you cast Vortex Warp. Where do you place? Does Herc need to make a save? Since
If he's
not
resisting, he needs to make a save, yeah.
I'm gonna say that I don't think he has. I think he has to make a save against this. Right now, you're taking a hostile action against him, and he's pretty intent on hitting this
It just says
creature.
the target can choose to fail, so that's up to Herc.
I don't. Me personally, just from the outside perspective, I don't think Herc would fail. Herc, you're more than welcome to disagree with me, though.
You don't think I would fail? I'm resisting. So how?
That's what I'm
would you do that?
saying. I
Yeah,
don't
that's-
think
yeah.
that I don't think that you would choose to fail
Willingly
being
fail.
vortex
Yeah.
warped away.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you need to roll. What is it?
It's a con save.
You need to roll a con save. What's he need to
He's
beat?
got to beat a what?
Fuck.
He needed to beat a 15.
Oh,
Okay.
that's great.
All right. Failing the con save, Riker, where do you place Herc?
Just where the guy was before, like throwing the knife, so like up there.
Okay.
So like not out of sight, but away.
You feel yourself being ripped from this time and space momentarily and then reappearing some 20, 30 feet away. The orc that had been punched a few times, feeling the loosening of the grip on his arm, turns, puts his hands up. This is the last time. I'm warning you, I'm trying to be polite, courteous, share an ale from the mugs that we are drinking ourselves.
I trust his friendliness.
Roll
Sorry,
an
is he
insight
saying
check.
that to me and Rin, or is he turning to Herc and
He
saying
turned to
that?
Herc.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, immediately he's looking. He felt the loosening, and he turned around to see where Herc was if he let go, and
Oh,
now he
gotcha.
sees them forever feet away. Make an insight check to see if you believe him. Sounds pretty genuine. At the same time, it's hard to tell because, like, he, was just threatened. He was, just punched, and attempted to be punched multiple more times. So, like, it's hard to tell. But what I will say is that you can tell that he was genuine about wanting to share ale with you.
Mr. Herc, these people have given us no reason to cause trouble. Can we?
These people.
This group here staying the night. Herc, I think you need to take a walk. Take a couple deep breaths.
Can I see the orcs that are in the ruined building?
Yeah.
Angle right now.
Sure.
They paid attention to anything going on right now.
The one closest to the door, you might see, like, peeking his head out, listening, not fully paying attention to the conversation that's being had around the campfire. But the one closest to the door kind of seems to be checking on things, just kind of leaning his head around and watching.
Weapons anywhere on him?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's
Does
weapons
he have them
on
drawn?
all of them. You see a dagger in his hand, but give me a perception check.
Come on, roll better than an 11. Fine, it's not bad.
You see a dagger drawn, but you also notice as you're watching that every time there seems to be raised voices, the grip on the dagger clenches.
Okay.
The orc standing outside. Look, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna have a drink. You already have my tarp. Whether you choose to join me is up to you. If you don't, put the tarp over the fence there and be on your way.
We really appreciate your hospitality. Thank you.
He just
She
kind
One
of
gives
last
him
question.
like a pat on the shoulder, and then she's gonna go jog over towards Herc to
okay.
see how he's
One last
doing.
question.
Okay.
How has Arv been this entire time?
Do you know that Key and Peele gif where you can see
sweating like
sweat
crazy?
just literally. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
But buckets.
Yeah, the dude is like dripping and like constantly wiping his head, and like everybody's a little moist. You're in the swamp. You're getting close to the desert. It's hot, but it's also humid over here. So everybody's a little sweaty. But dude is having a rough go of it. Like his robes are drenched. Like he is sweating. Um,
Like, I know this is a hard ask. Is it nervousness about the situation? It's nervousness about the people? Is it nervousness about what could potentially happen? Because I know that he was really gung ho about us not killing the people before.
mhm.
I just don't know if he's fine with us killing these people, especially given Herc's disposition right now.
Um,
I'm gonna guess no.
I'm
so
guessing
I
too.
mean, that's also quite the insight, but
I
you
know.
you had a yeah, you're not going to be able to glean all of that information. But what I will say is that he did carve out a caveat in his like I am the law, I am the arbiter of judgment, saying that the laws only matter while you're inside the Stormhorn Mountains, and in like once you beyond that, you're past Cormyr. You're no longer in Cormyr's jurisdiction. And so like his laws, like while he might not like it, there's nothing he can do. Rules are different out here.
Still clenching the rapier, but I'm not doing anything yet.
Alrighty. This orc heads back in. And Sammy, from where you're at, you can see him kind of standing over the fire, and kind of walking, getting a mug of ale, and then standing over the fire and talking to the person that you had identified as wearing the more ornate like headgear with the kind of the leather strips and the bones and the different things attached to it. So you can see him having a relatively animated conversation and even like going through a motion, like showing like a punching the air type of motion. And you can see that the other orcs are relatively animated while listening to the story. Some of them laughing, others of them having a disgruntled look upon their face. The, I guess, chieftain is very stoic and doesn't really make any sort of face to be incited against. It's relatively neutral whole time.
With everybody that's within earshot, I would probably say this is not a place that we need to stay. And if we do, we might expect a little retaliation.
are you sure? I don't think they want to retaliate.
With what Brontus has told us about this area and, well, what I've seen in there and I'm not seeing out here, I think this could be an opportunity. If we don't take the opportunity ourselves.
Look, as of right now, we've seen no evidence these people are hostile. I mean, if anything, that man really held himself back when Herc was hitting him. I see no evidence as to why we would think that he'd be hostile.
I think Herc overpowered him a little bit, and now he's a little embarrassed.
That's intense speculation.
And you
Racker?
sent Herc over there.
Yeah,
Yes,
because
you were
I
concerned.
didn't want to start a fight.
think
Right.
the fight
I
is
also
coming.
don't want to be ambushed while we're sleeping, so maybe we should find another place to sleep.
I mean, we can. It's just if you're worried about being ambushed, we can set up watches again. I just don't see why we're so afraid of these people. They seem nice enough.
Well, sometimes the boys of the village would attempt to get strangers drunk so they could rob them while they were incapacitated.
Well, not all of us are getting drunk though. In fact, the only people who offered to go in was me and Miss Rin, and I don't even think either of us are going in anymore.
Probably for a good reason. I don't trust them. I don't trust a lot of people, I know that, but something's off about them. I think their sincerity is a mask. And I think those goods in there are not gained kindly.
Legitimately.
Again, I'm sorry, but until I see any evidence to your claims, I'm having a hard time believing them.
Riker, I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but I agree with them. I don't know. I think Herc ruined our only good graces with these people, and I think that if we were to stay,
Good graces, okay.
they're gonna try to retaliate.
Look, if I'm outvoted, I'm outvoted, but I'm staying my ground and saying I don't think they're hostile.
Well, you don't have to be hostile to still be not a nice person.
Well, you can be not a nice person and also not be hostile, which seems like what was the worry here.
Well, the worry is that they're bandits and they're trying to rob us more than anything. They may not want to kill us, but I definitely think that they might want to rob us.
Again, if I'm outvoted, that's fine, but claims require evidence, and I've seen no
At least in
evidence
this
of this.
particular situation, to avoid any unnecessary bloodshed on anybody's part, it seems better safe than sorry.
I've made my claim known. That's what I'm going with. If that's what you all want to do, that's fine.
I don't know. We got to go talk to Miss Wren and Herc and see how they're feeling about things. I think
All right.
Herc's going to agree.
While all that conversation was happening, Rin and Herc are off into the little corral over there around the broken glass, just having their own little conversation. I will say, where you're currently standing, Herc, you would be able to see with little to no trouble that the collapsed wall on that particular side allows you to see into the building, and you can kind of see them talking. And you currently see the backside of the chieftain at that broken wall. But what are you two talking about?
Hey, what's going on? That was unlike you.
The hells do you want? Thought you were gonna go in and listen to their story.
Herc, let's walk. Let's just take a breath.
Yeah, maybe
and
we
walk.
should keep walking. Why don't you go get the others?
No, let's just do this, you and me. We don't need everyone. I want to know
Do
what's going
what?
on with you.
What do you mean, what's going on with me? Seems to
Yes.
me like you and Riker, they're orcs.
And you're a half-orc, so what?
I'm half orc. Yes. There's a difference.
Okay, but they were being nice to us. There's nothing wrong with ingratiating ourselves.
You trust that? Really?
I don't trust it. But that doesn't mean I can't be nice back. We can take proper precautions without punching
That might
people.
work with elves or gnomes, maybe halflings and humans. But the orcs, that shows weakness. That gives them all the more confidence. What I did was show that we do have strength and we're not to be taken lightly. You'd go in there and you'd do what you said, ingratiate yourself or whatever, be nice and play. But they'd be ready, like wolves.
So am I.
No.
No,
You'd slip.
I spent 3 years of my life in the lockup. I know how to deal with dangerous people, and it's frankly getting a little offensive that you think that I don't. Sometimes the answer is to act like nothing's wrong until they make a fucking move.
Just a small segue.
Yeah.
Sammy, and I guess actually all of you that are just to the south of the building would see the orc that was punched come out, kind of slinking out and disappear around the backside of the building.
Where Herc and
No.
Rin are having their
No, I
conversation.
The
think to the
opposite
west,
side.
yeah.
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 Okay.
Uh,
I'd like to follow him.
Okay. You're able to do so.
I will look at Sammy though and see if he wants to come with me. Like nod.
to a point, yes. Only because I also want to keep an eye on what's going on inside here. So if shit
don't-
gets a
let
little
me-
funky,
You don't have to follow far. Before he probably wanders about 10, 15 feet or so away from the building, and then stands still, facing the opposite direction.
No,
seems
just
like
watch him.
he's observing something.
Does it look like he's
Away from the
watering
building?
something, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the latter.
Ah.
He took a moment to relieve himself.
A
So I
bio
would
break.
assume I would have stood right about here.
Okay. After he's finished and he's walking back, yeah, we're right in just a second. After he's finished, he walks back by, and Sammy, are you trying to stealth right there?
I'm gonna stand there pretty openly and brazenly.
I want to stealth.
Okay. Standing right there, kind of even leaning up against the tree as he's walking by, he kind of snarls at you. You're either in or you're out.
Oh, I'm definitely out right now.
He just and walks back into the camp, and then takes a seat in this far chair. And you can just see him leaning forward, staring at you. Ren and Herc.
You can be offended all you want, but you don't know how many of them are out here. You don't know how Riker or Arv are going to handle this situation. If they're going to be ready. And that can make the difference.
Okay. You can go back to the group now if you want to. I see that whatever I'm going to say is not going to mean anything.
Oh, it meant something. You might be right. I didn't realize that you're on the level, as it were. I didn't think of that. Sounds like we had different ways to go about it.
Well, I don't think that they're going to be very gracious to us after that, so we might need to figure something else out for the night. Are you gonna be okay?
I'm fine.
You are not fine. Can
You
we
don't
at
get to
least
tell
tell
me how I am.
I can tell that you're not acting like yourself.
Why? Because I'm not cheerful or whatnot. Well, there's more to me than that.
I know. But that doesn't mean that you're acting like yourself. And if you want to talk about that, I'm down to talk about that. But if you want to shut me down, then we can go back to everyone else.
What are you measuring over there, shitbird?
Don't you worry about that yet.
So happy you're back.
If I see Arsis coming back, would I see Arsis coming back before I would see Herc and Rin coming back, or would it be the opposite?
I mean, she's stealth, and it beats your passive perception. So unless she like relieves or reveals herself to you, you're not going to see her.
Probably whisper out to her then. And if she were to respond in any way, shape, or form, I would say just watch what I'm about to do and make a judgment off of that.
I won't reveal myself, but I did hear you.
So who's holding the tarp that was given?
Riker.
Yes, I mean, Riker was right there, so he probably has it.
Okay.
He's all confused about why everyone's on edge. I don't get it.
You can't, Sammy, you can't necessarily hear the conversation that's going on, but you can tell that, the banter back and forth is less cheerful than it used to be. And the chieftain stands up, the rest of the group staying still seated, and they now just kind of look to him, and the chieftain walks out. Does anybody do anything?
I would probably say out loud, if your intentions are less than noble, then perhaps you should just walk away from this place. And while I say that, I'm fidgeting with the ring of spell storing, and the little guy that has been slinking in and out,
Mm-hmm.
I will cast suggestion as I'm saying that. I was just measuring to make sure that I was within range.
Beady boy.
All right, what is that, a charisma save?
That is on Rin because
Yeah.
she
Yeah,
is
it's
the one
based
that
on
cast
hers.
it for me.
It should be, yeah. Yes, it's actually a wisdom save.
Wisdom save?
And my version of the spell is wisdom 14.
Damn it!
You used up that spell for nothing.
He just kind of looks at you and spits at the ground, and the
Damn it.
chieftain walking out continues walking alone, mind you, over to Riker, and he snatches the tarp away. Me think you move now. And he starts walking back towards the ruined building. And then he stands there facing outwards. That mean you too. Looking towards you, Sammy.
Now, you see, Mr. Sammy, that is evidence that we should leave.
Go to the precipice of the doorway, and I will spit on the ground in front of him, the orc chieftain.
He immediately reaches down and takes his finger and slops up the spit and puts it in his own mouth. Taste weak.
Nasty boy.
Mr. Sammy, we're not here to provoke a fight. Let's just go.
Do I
Arv,
see Herc?
Arv speaks up.
You know what? I think I would have maybe come up at that point. Because I think when I see the chieftain coming out, I'll probably like start to ignore Ren, grab my axe, and then I'll move up. And if I see him give the tarp to Riker, and then
Take the tarp-
say those things,
tarp from
yeah,
Riker.
take the tarp from Riker.
Yeah.
Then I'll go up to Sammy and maybe like pull him back.
Oh.
Yeah.
When you said you grabbed your axe, I was thinking you were going to do something else with it. And Arv kind of chimes up, speaks up. Yeah, I don't think we should stick around any longer.
No, I think it's worth it to just head straight to Gwarch now. Rin's obviously joined everyone.
I'll look at the chieftain with some curiosity as I pull Sammy back. Who is your god?
He looks at you. Varkash prayed no god.
No god?
No. Live by own rules.
So when you die, who's gonna see you?
Varkash live long. Not problem now.
Yeah, I think Sammy's gonna make it his problem right now. And
If this were a dialogue tree in a video game, you'd be clicking the worst option every time.
Every
definitely.
goddamn time. Fuck off,
Every
man.
time.
Ugh.
Uh,
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
Herc is
Sammy's
holding on to you pretty tight.
Damn you, dude! Mixed messages.
This changes things. They're not Groomsh orcs. This is very strange for Herc.
Okay, if I feel you holding me,
I'll even say,
and
let's go. Let's go.
you. Fine.
alrighty.
Actually, yeah, I'll even roll an insight check to see if I believe him.
This orc is a man of few words. For what you can tell, he means every one of them. When he tells you should go, probably go. When he tells you he has no god, probably doesn't.
Herc says, we'll go. I'm sorry. Stay free of Grumsh. My kin. And drag Sammy off.
And you hear kin. Huh. And just kind of a grunt of displeasure or disagreement, rather. And Arsis, if you're standing by and you're watching, you can see the chieftain go back in. And the rest of the orcs are sitting anxiously waiting to see his final reaction. And as he leans back to take another sip of the ale that he left on his chair, the rest of them lighten up again and start talking and not having such serious faces. You're muted.
I'll catch up with the rest of the group then as we leave.
Okay. On horseback, exiting eastward through the swamps. About a few more hours before you start to get out of the swamp territory and more into, let me see. Close your ears for a second. Oh, okay. This interaction failed just a second. There we go.
I was like, we're in combat. Here we go.
I think it was just prepared it to be if we were in combat.
It was, yeah. It was always a possibility, but it was not a mandatory. It was strongly going to depend on how you all interacted with the orcs.
Wanted to shink a bench.
It was very close.
I wanted to drink and tell stories, but here we are.
Those are not the kind of friends you need to have, Ren. They're bad news bearers.
They might have. Well,
Okay.
now I think they might have been, but we didn't. Didn't know that at the time.
I wanted to hear all their battle stories, man.
Right?
Were they
I
robbed?
think their battle stories involved sneaking up or just ambushing.
I mean, you don't know until you
Travelers.
hear them.
Sneaking up and ambushing. Sorry, who does that remind me of? Why does that sound familiar?
Because I know.
The nighttime comes. The sky is clear, beautiful. The clouds with the lightning strikes overhead that were the day before have dissipated. You can see every star in the open sky. For miles in every direction, it is nothing but clear grassland. Every now and then you'll see a large rock jutting out from the surface, but you have the mountains at your back to the south and just vast emptiness in almost all directions. There's a small trail about a cart wide that you're currently on. Grass wild and overgrown on either side. Wind sweeping through, it almost looks like a sea of green as you see the grass waving back and forth with the wind. You travel through the night. Arv speaks up. You think we should try to make camp now, or do you think we should just keep going? We're a couple hours away. I'm okay with whatever you guys want to decide. Either way, we're probably not going to make it until daylight.
The entire time we've been traveling, we haven't seen anything in the area, have we?
Um, give me a perception check. What are you looking for?
Looking for other caravans, for wilderness, anything off in the distance.
There's wilderness everywhere.
Animal wilderness.
Yeah. Fireflies.
Looking around, grass is tall. It would take a relatively large creature to be able to see anything lurking. There is one point in time when you, traveling east, kind of look over to your right, back south towards the mountains, and you can see a few bear off in the distance. But as they stop and see you, they scuttle back up into the mountains. But outside of that, no caravan, no travelers.
I think
Been
if
pretty
we
empty.
think if we take a couple of steps off the main path, I think we could set up a little camp and just keep an eye on things.
Yeah, might probably a good idea to not force ourselves more than we need to.
I'm okay with that.
No fires, though,
No.
No fires.
or lights of any kind. We don't want to allude to our...
Fine, I think we can survive on nuts and jerky and whatever we have in our packs.
Okay. Is there anybody going to take the charge to try to find a suitable place that is undiscoverable? Alrighty, go ahead and give me a survival check.
Yes, sir. $25.
You find a small but natural crease in the grass, heading north towards the desert, and you're able to navigate yourself off the path just far enough to where you can tell that there's no creases or trampling of the grass that you would leave a noticeable marking that somebody had wandered away from the main path. And you find yourself, it's not really a clearing, but just a small dirt patch, probably only about 2 feet wide. But it's enough of a starting point and far enough away that you feel that you might be able to kind of lay out your bedrolls here. And even if the grass is matted, it probably wouldn't look anything more than just a natural clearing, nothing man-made. So you feel pretty safe with this spot. I'll take same watch, first watch, if nobody objects.
Yeah, I can do the same as last night as well.
I'll take last watch.
Okay,
Still think we need a third, right?
you do.
I'll take third.
I'll probably want to be woken up with Arceus.
You guys get some rest. Tomorrow, I don't know what to expect. I've never been here before. But if I had to guess, there's probably going to be some things that we're going to have to let slide off of our backs. Pretend like we didn't see it. We're in their territory now, and we'll need to play by their rules.
You see a small smile creep across Sammy's face.
What does
Well,
that mean?
we'll see what happens.
Good night. Get some rest.
As I get up, I'll pat Herc's shoulder. Kind of a rough and tumble crowd, from what I've heard. You'll fit in nicely.
I mean, I can. I can't believe it. Those orcs.
I really thought that you were gonna go a different way.
Oh, that reminds me, Mr. Herc, I hope you understand why, but I am sorry for teleporting you the way I did.
Yeah, hell's with that. I would have had him.
Well, I think the point is that we didn't want to fight him.
If it makes any difference, Mr. Herc, I know you would have won.
Well,
We all
I don't need that. Thank you. Of course. But it's
Just
a good
know-
thing you did. It turns out they had no god.
I would have had your back on whatever decision you said. Let's know that, Herc.
Well, you did. I pulled you back. You came. But I was wrong. Orcs with no god. What kind of life is that?
A creature with no direction is oftentimes one of the most dangerous ones because you can't predict where they're going.
Wasn't that all like you all? You all don't seem to care that much for them. The gods, I mean.
I know they're there, but yeah, like you said, I've never been a religious person.
It's not just about, aren't you curious? You're into those machines and stuff, how it all works, how it's all put together. They're a big
Yeah, but
part of that, you know.
I can see my inventions. I can't really see a god.
You see it in me. Every time I heal you. Every time I smite our foes.
But Herc, don't you follow like 4 gods?
Yes. So,
All right.
all
just
part of
clarifying.
the Suzail's pantheon. Everyone gives them their due. And orcs. Well, maybe you don't know. Orcs follow Gwarch. Evil
You
one-eye.
follow Groomsh?
No.
So then, not all orcs do that.
Yeah, I'm a half-orc, though.
Still orc blood. Maybe we were wrong about them. I still didn't trust them.
The gods are real, though. At least one of them. Whether you need to pray to them or not is up for debate. But it is without question that anybody that has magical power is touching the very being of Mistra.
And not just some latent energy that's laying out in the field.
It's well documented what happened when Karsus cast Karsus Avatar.
Yeah, I know they exist and they are there.
Well, hey, bright side is we didn't hit them first, aside from Herc. But
Herc
no
did
one
hit
died
them
tonight.
first.
Definitely hit them first.
no one died. So I
If those
say,
were orcs of Gwarch. I mean, if we were going to have any kind of friendly interaction, I thought I started it off just right.
I think you did.
And thank you.
And then, things got strange, but you definitely started it right.
Oh, you mean the hellos and everything?
no, I think that we're probably better off not interacting with strange
probably
folks on the
escaping.
road as little as possible. So moving on was probably the best course of action.
If we hadn't, I wouldn't have learned that, though, and I'm grateful for that.
But you know what?
Now I should let you know that if we do come across orcs of Gwarch, it will not go the same way.
I'm just gonna
Maybe-
say, there was an awfully big chest in that room that I would have loved to poke into and see what was inside.
A wooden chest.
It was
Chest
iron
nonetheless.
bound, but yeah.
Speaking of things that I wish I could have done and things that I can do, Herc, I have a small request for you.
Hmm.
See that Iron Stallion that you've summoned? And I was just wondering if, you could help me out a little bit with that.
You want to ride Dawnstar yourself?
Oh.
I'm surprised none of you have asked thus far.
No. Dawnstar is way too glorious and... Oh.
If you want a spell for the ring,
That is...
you would be depriving me of my Dawnstar when you cast the spell. I don't want a situation to crop up where I'm riding Dawnstar gloriously into battle, and Sammy, wherever you are, I'm going to sneak on my horse. I'm going to summon a horse, and then you summon it, and then I plop down on the ground and hurt my ass.
That is very interesting. I did not think about that. Huh.
Are you sure you weren't trying to prank me?
No, actually, I wasn't trying to prank you. I was just thinking about the economics of the situation, and well,
I
that
guess
blue
the
dragon.
good thing is, if something were to happen, God's forbid, if something were to happen to Dawnstar, and he had to leave this plane to rematerialize, that ring could come in handy. But why don't you ask Rin or Arv for something?
Well,
I could contribute flaming sphere, hold person, locate object, invisibility.
You're right.
you see Sammy's
Sounds
eyes and
cooler.
ears perk up to invisibility.
All right, Sammy, I'll do it. Fine steed it is.
No. I
You're
wouldn't want
sure?
to deprive you of Dawnstar right there. And, well,
You could also
I think,
I could give you shield.
no, I think that invisibility just do fine.
Alrighty. It's a second level spell. He casts it into the ring, and you now have invisibility, and
The other spells.
yeah, the other spells which I won't reveal. Okay. Go ahead and everyone that took a watch tonight, go ahead and give me a perception check.
We'll give Arsis a little support on the old perception.
Oh, you want me to roll with advantage?
Yes, I want you to roll with advantage.
My first roll was better.
Was much better.
Do any of you do
My
any-
perception's actually higher than yours, Rin, but because you have the observe feat, your passive is huge.
Do any of you do anything during your watch?
I don't know. Sammy wanted to get up with Arsis, so I'm not sure if there was anything he was looking for.
So to be clear, the last watch will be taken completely in the daylight.
Mhm.
you traveled far enough through the night that, like, the last watch is, like, even the third watch is starting to creep up with the sun rising. The last one, you really have to struggle to try to remain asleep, but the exhaustion from traveling as far as you did in one day really kind of helps you. But if there's anything that you wanted to do during the night, especially the two of you that woke up together, if there is any conversation that wanted to be had, you can have it.
I mean, I'm gonna take care of my weapons and check on Ardu and, take stock of around the camp for anybody who might have snuck up on us or anything like that. But unless
It would
Sammy
just-
engages,
It'd just be idle chatter and just lending my support to a friend that has been through the ringer, so to speak, and just wanting to be there.
All
are
right.
you feeling okay?
Oh, I'm fine.
All right. I'm a little nervous about heading into town tomorrow.
Why is that? Bunch of
Well-
strange creatures that potentially have murderous intent and want to attack, steal, and destroy anything that isn't theirs.
I just had some bad luck with towns. But,
Just-
you make a valid point as well.
Stay close and keep an eye on you. You got nothing to worry about.
How are you feeling? I'm a little on edge lately.
You know, I'm fine. There are things that I'm processing and dealing with, hoping for.
Not much of a talker, but a pretty good listener.
Not much of a talker myself, truthfully.
Well, let me know if you need anything. I think at this point,
You do the same.
I consider you my friend, Sammy. And I'm glad you're here and you got my back.
Yeah. Make sure I'm here for you.
Alrighty.
I'd like to throw in just a little character moment for when Rin's on her watch.
Yeah, absolutely. Please
Um,
do.
She'll be pretty focused on everything, but before she wakes up Arsis and Sammy, she'll take a few minutes just to kind of like look at Herc sleeping, and then she'll like move a little lock of his hair out of his face and just kind of whisper mostly to herself, I'm sorry. I don't want to make you feel like that again. And then get those guys up.
Okay, very cute. Like
Yeah.
it.
Thanks.
Morning comes. You all mount your horses. Get back on the trail. After a few hours' ride in the scorching sun, you can see the beginnings of the tents that are sprawling around the edge of the lake. And you can see the barges out into the kind of the lake that's surrounding, almost making a moat around the goblin town of Gwarch. Also with colorful tents, you see one large what do you call the thing at the top of like ships where you can look out?
Mast?
Yeah,
A crow's nest?
A crow's
Crow's
nest.
nest.
Thank you. You see one tall, 40-foot tall crow's nest just kind of wobbling back and forth, with a lone goblin atop it with a spyglass. But you have officially made it to Gwarch.
Gwarch, 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 Gwarch.
That's hilarious because when I go to Dragon Thrones, we're in Golf, and our chant is Golf, 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 Golf.
It just works, you know.
One moment.
Gwarch.
Let me get rid of this loop so we can get to the Gwarch, and then shortly into this we will be done.
Oh, we haven't murdered anybody yet? Damn it!
Yeah, no
Thank
combat
God,
possession.
Finally.
It'll make Carve happy that we showed restraint. That's what I was trying to get at earlier. Look, we didn't just murder them.
Yay, we're not
But
murder
at the same
hobos.
time, they didn't attack us the way the other people did, so.
Alrighty, wandering through the tents, you see a bunch of different creatures: orcs, goblins, bugbears, lizard folk, all sorts of chaotic. You even see a few, or rather you hear a few gnolls cackling in the distance over a fire. It appears that travelers that come here set up their tents on the outskirts, just off the shores, and as you go in further, you cross this rickety wooden bridge held up by posts that have been driven into the water below. The closer you get, the more flags and stalls that you see, goblins shouting out, trying to gain the attention of the people that are coming inside of the castle. The water's filthy below. The top portion blue, but below you can see crates and litter strewn about the bottom of the water. A few fish kind of swimming in between a busted crate, making their own little homes inside of the trash below. Arv gets to the edge. Before you see the gates in front of you, two goblins with spears standing outside. I don't think they're gonna let us just walk right into the crypt below. I'm gonna try to go talk to their leader, but I want to do it as diplomatically as possible. No offense to you guys, but I don't want the risk just yet of having you accompany me. If you would stay out here for a moment, just keep yourself busy. If I'm not back in an hour, come find me.
Come
I'm
find
already
you
making
where.
my way over to this goblin and seeing what he's got in store.
Don't you think at least someone should go with you? What risk are you talking about?
I know that I'm going to be able to adapt to any customs that might be had here. Whereas they could say or do something that might offend you. And I don't want to ruin any opportunity that we would have to get into the crypt. So whoever's in charge here, I need to speak with them in as diplomatic fashion as I possibly can.
Right. Well, it's not Suzeo. Well, why don't you take Rin with you?
I'll go.
It'd be best if you all just stayed here.
What if something happens to you?
Mr. Herc, I think it's clear he doesn't trust any of us enough to go with him.
Okay,
If he wants to
let's
go
not
alone, he
make
can
it
go
into
alone.
I mean-
a conflict.
To be fair, though, Arv isn't the most gracious speaker amongst us. But if he thinks he can do it better than Miss Rin or Mr. Herc, then by all means.
Well,
can
we'll
do
see you
this.
later, Arv.
Yeah, but like, my biggest question is, you said in an hour if you don't come back to find you. But where do we find you? Is there a place in town you are headed so that we know where to look for you? At least start looking for you at?
Do you have like a magical thing that could help us?
Or a map. A map would be good.
A map to you.
He reaches into a bag and pulls out one sending stone. You see carved into the side of this stone a caricature of a face where the mouth, the lips are rather large, and the ear is carved, takes up the majority of the back half of the stone. If you need me, just talk into this, I'll be able to hear you.
And if you need us,
I will do the same.
all right. Better plan, I think.
And he heads off into going to there. Sammy, as you stepped off, and even the rest of you being as close as you are, it would probably be really difficult to not overhear what's happening. As you step off onto the right side of the kind of barge, as you're walking, this is clearly a floating structure. These logs that are underneath have just been piled with planks of wood to give places for walk. The tents have been worn, clearly old and tattered in some places. But this goblin standing in front of a bunch of wooden crates. He speaks up. You look from out of town. You want to try with Snizzle Fizzle Bang's mystery boxes? I got tons of boxes. You pay a gold, you get to pick any mystery box you want. There could be something good. It could be old Fuzzy's belly button lint. But no matter what, you're gonna get something.
How many boxes does he have?
I've got hundreds of boxes. I've got more boxes than you have time to count, pal. You look in there, you buy one. I've got different tiers of boxes. You want to pay 1 gold, you get 1 gold worth of prize. I got magic items in there. If you're willing to pay up to 30 gold pieces per box, you got a chance to get a magic item in there.
And what are these chances? 1 in 5, 1 in 10?
Come on, buddy. You know the house always wins, but there is a chance. That guy over there, he saw me put a ring in one of them, and I know that ring had some powers in it. The other one, maybe there's a wand or something. There's a pretty fancy cloak. Old Blinky over there that makes blankies and different things. They gave me a magic piece of cloth or something. It's in there. But if you wanna gamble, old Snizzle Fizzlebang's got the mystery box for you.
How familiar are you with all this magic that has been given to you? Do you know anything about anything?
Are you kidding me? You telling me that I don't know my own product? I test everything very intimately. The thing that of course I tried out the wand, it did some sparks or something. I know it's got magic powers.
I believe him.
Yeah, I mean, whether or not you want to buy one is completely up to you, but he's trying to pitch it to you.
I didn't mean to do that.
Fuck.
Oh, that's smart.
I didn't even think about that.
Yep. So I'm gonna turn around and look at them and go like. Then I'm going to activate detect magic.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna turn around and look at him, and I think I might be interested in one of the boxes as I'm looking over them.
Ooh.
Don't get too close,
Sammy's a
okay?
gambler.
There's a little bit of luck involved, all right? You gotta tell me what one you want, and then you come over here, and he like scoots out like this big wooden tub, okay? This big wooden tub, and inside of it's filled with water, and inside are these little rubber ducks. On the bottom of these rubber ducks, you see what you gotta do is you gotta pick it up, and he picks it up, and it's got a number on it, and the one that he picked up had a green number 98. See? This one goes to the 98th box. I got them all numbered. I got them all memorized, and he puts it in there, and he like sinks all the ducks and like moves them around. Now, if you want to pick a box, you gotta pick a duck to pick a box. You know what I'm saying?
You bastard. Shit.
You there, Grayskin. What do you think? You want one of these mystery boxes?
I
Move
think my
along.
friend looks pretty interested. I'm dying to know what's inside them.
Listen, if you're
I can
gonna
tell
buy
he's
something,
chomping at the bit to get one.
if you're gonna buy
Something about
something,
the ducks threw him off, though. What's that?
nothing. Sorry, I was just gonna tell. If you're gonna buy something, buy something. If you're not, move along so I can get some new customers in here. Okay,
Well,
I
you
got
have a
product
pretty
to move.
intricate system. I mean, if I had just come up to you, like, I needed to learn all of that in order to, before I was going to give you any money.
While he's talking to the goblin, do I see any of the numbers on the outside of any of the boxes or no?
Yeah. You.
There's
I'll-
717.
I'll tell you this. With your detect magic up, you can tell that from the tag that's been placed on those magic boxes, they all seem to correlate to higher numbers.
What? The
higher you
Higher
roll, the
number
better chance.
boxes.
The high,
have,
yeah. You're gonna. Long story short, metagame. You're gonna. If you want to buy one of these, you're gonna roll a D100, and based on that D100, you are going to get whatever number corresponding to that box. Obviously, there's other ways that you could try to, steal one of these boxes if that was your shtick, and you would be able to, with your detect magic, know which ones have the magic item in it. But you're gonna roll the dice. He's gonna give you the box that correlates to that. This is 1000% of gambling.
and there's like tiers of boxes too. So there's 1 gold and then 30 gold,
Yeah.
and it goes all the way up to that. And that can how does that affect things?
Like there's 1 gold, 10 gold, 20 gold, 30 gold. Like each one 10. Like
Okay.
there's hundreds of boxes here.
Right. Okay. But like if I did a 30 gold one, then and got high, I would get something better than if I got rolled high on a 1 gold
Yes.
box. Okay.
I think what I will do is I will take 5 gold.
Okay. And he makes sure to point to the sign, and it says limit 2 gambles per customer.
Come on now. Got 5 gold. You really just want to let somebody who's willing to spend their money walk away on some silly rule?
You haven't spent any money as far as I'm concerned. You putting up 5 gold? Pick a duck. And he holds out his hand for the 5 gold pieces.
If I give you 5 gold, do I get 5 ducks?
We'll see what happens. All right, how about this? I'll let you pick up another duck, but it'll still cost you 5 gold. You're not going to get 5 picks for 5 gold.
But your thing says 1 gold a duck. We got 5.
Yeah, but it
5
also
right here.
says limits 2 per customer.
So then you're just gonna let me give you 2 gold and then pick 2 ducks and walk away?
Oh my! I just want to see what's in the box. Here's
Please.
30 gold.
See,
I
this
was
is the
waiting for
kind of
someone.
this is the kind of business that I'm used to. And he takes the 30 gold and stuffs it into his pouch. All right, and he pushes this back and brings out some golden ducks. All righty.
77.
Let me.
Good roll.
That was a perfect. I mean, maybe not a perfect roll, but a sick ass roll. You had a
Could be better.
76% chance to get a lower roll. So
That's true. That's true. I think that works out. Herc's not so hot on the map.
Close enough, yeah.
Okay. I don't know how you'll feel about this. It's technically a win. All right, 77 and 77. Okay, I found it. And he pulls out the
77.
box and he hands it to you.
77.
All right, who knows what could be inside? It could be a mummified toe. It could be a sword of something.
Box is a little small for it to be a sword.
Well, you know, maybe it's a magic box or something. Just open the damn box. And as you open, are you going to open the box in front of him?
No.
You're not? Okay. Come on, you got to open the box. It's the rules.
You remember what's in there, right? Well, there's another rule.
Well, this is an unwritten rule. It's one of those.
Ever enter Gwarch? When they run into you, they're stuck here for an hour, listening to rules and games and things.
God, we
My
are such
God.
menaces.
All right, look, you can take the box if you want. I guess I already know what's in it, but just sometimes I like to see either.
I peek inside. What is it? What is it?
It's a potion of healing. So technically, you got a
that's
20. You got a 20 gold discount on a potion of healing.
Hell yeah.
How's your outward like enthusiasm about this?
I won!
See, everyone's a winner here, folks. When you come to Snizzle Fizzle Bang's mystery box, you're gonna walk away with something. Look at this guy. He's a testament that I promise that I don't rig these boxes in any way, shape, or form. There's possibilities everywhere. What about you? Are you gonna put up 5 gold for 5 ducks or what? What are you doing over here?
You're not giving me 5 ducks for 5 gold.
Give me the 5 gold and I'll give you 5 boxes out of the little baby box.
No, I don't know if I want to give you this now. You're
Oh
kind of
my
frustrating with all
God.
these rules.
Sammy, just
All right,
give
come
him
on,
the-
come on. Who else wants the mystery box from
Arsis,
Fizzle
what do you
Bang?
think? I could put 30 gold and get another one.
How much gold do you have? Do you need that for food and,
at least
and
it-
shelter and other things that might be super important?
I could do one more.
All right,
What about
I'll give
one
him the
more?
5 gold.
all right. He takes the. Herc, are you gonna do one more 30 gold?
Let Sammy. Let's resolve Sammy.
Okay. After we do these two rolls, we'll pick up next week or 2 weeks from
Okay.
now. All right. So you got a 4, an 88, a 3, a 44, and a 9.
Got a lot of belly button light right there, so
Okay.
A dirty sock,
Got
maybe.
a whole thing about it.
All right. How do you want to open these? In the order that they were rolled?
yeah, might as well.
He hands you all the boxes all at once.
A
Okay.
little.
The first one that you get, it is very small. And as you open it up, you see a single rusty iron nail.
Ooh.
Winner.
Oh, rusty nail cost me 5 or a gold.
Sammy, we could find we could find Arv later. Maybe he could identify it. Maybe.
Yeah, see, they can't all be winners, otherwise Fizzlebang wouldn't get any money out of it. The house always win, but you sometimes win too. And as you open up number 88, you get a ring of feather falling.
Oh,
Oh, that's really good.
While you
I've
don't
never
know
heard of it.
exactly what it is, you can see a golden ring and kind of engraved into the top of it, a detail extending out away is like imagery of a feather carved into the ring. So again, you don't know. It's like, I think that's a good one. You might have got another winner. See, we're almost 50-50 for winners and losers here. And then the last couple 3 is gonna get you pocket lint. It's gray in color, so it wasn't even like fancy red pocket lint or anything. But as you touch it, it feels oddly comforting. 44. As you open this up, you see a deck of cards. They are
Oh, please pull
soggy
No,
and
it's not.
they are
Please,
soggy
boy.
and waterlogged. And let me just be 1000% clear for anybody that ever plays in my campaign now or going forward. You will never see ever in your entire life, no matter whether you fucking cast a wish spell, you will never see a deck of many things in any of my
I know.
games.
There's
Ever.
no way that you
Pull a
would get
card,
Ever.
DJ. He could be lying. You don't know that. Pull a card.
Hey,
It's
I
okay,
got detect
Andrew,
magic up. Does
You're a
this,
DM. You
is
could
this
always throw a
detect-
couple in your campaigns.
I mean,
is this
You
deck of
never
cards
know.
magical by any stretch of the imagination?
It is not.
No, it's
Oh,
just
that's
wax.
right. You have your detect magic, so you would know that ring that you pulled was magical. And then the last box, number 9. As you open it up, you see a small, rather pointy tooth, yellowed. It is a goblin tooth. And as you see Snizzle Fizzle Bang talking, you can see that it probably looks like one of his teeth that he's lost.
Gross.
Alrighty, now Scram, you already scammed the system a little bit by getting 5 pulls for 5 gold. Now, get out of here. You're not getting any more. You want to try another 30 gold box? You can if you wanted. Last one, though. I don't make
Should I?
exceptions
Should
for
I?
nobody.
Except for Sammy.
I didn't make exception for him at all.
He wheeled, he dealed. Should I?
There's no harm in it.
Well, there is, because he's out 30 golds for potentially nothing.
Well, but we have other sources.
30 gold, okay.
Like that bandit's money. 2,000.
All right, you paying another 30 gold?
Yep.
Wish there was a way I can help you get a better roll. Wow.
wait.
He's missing a 1.
Jackpot.
No, he's missing a 1. He only had one
it's
option
a-
to roll, and
he
it was a
rolled
0.
D0, guys.
Gotcha.
D00.
Totally intentional prank there.
Guys, it's just a prank, bro.
Alrighty.
There we go.
64.
Earwax.
Alrighty, hands you this box. He's like, oh, I think I remember what this is. And he hands it to you. As you open it up, you see another glass bottle inside. This one sealed with wax. And as you pull it out, it is
They're wax.
containing some sort of swirling blue smoke.
Bottles galore.
I might be able to help you out with that, Mr. Herc. I do have the identify spell.
Hold on, did you open it up and all right. That'll end the session.
Wait, John, has it been an hour yet
Has what been an hour?
since Arv went in?
Oh no, it hasn't been. It might feel like it, but you guys got some. I personally think Gwarch this is going to be potentially some fun times, less tense, at least until you go into the crypt. But
A lot of tents in the crypt.
yeah, well, no, yeah, very funny. Good stuff, guys.
Yeah.